Detroit Lions fans, Detroit Den 313 back with another one. Hey, listen, before we get going, you know what you're supposed to do. If you are not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. It helps us out tremendously. Trying to grow this channel like crazy and do some more giveaways. But that out of the way, Steve, the heck we talking about?
Couple topics today. No, we're not gonna, we're gonna bounce around a little bit, but I think yesterday, this isn't like earth-shattering news, William. I don't think this is really like massive news, so we're not going to try to mislead anyone. But we did have a little news, and maybe it was a little bit more significant than what a couple people think. But re-signing of Kyod Aika last night, yeah, pretty much right after we got done recording, uploaded last night's episode, got on Twitter, saw that, said, hey, all right, well, we'll have to mention that tomorrow. That being that time is now. So how do you feel about Coyote coming back? I'll be honest, I didn't even realize he was a free agent. I thought he was still on the team, if I'm being completely honest with you. So how do you feel about the Lions bringing him back?
Depth piece. Cool. I'm cool with it. I'm not crazy about it, not over the moon. I think it's worth mentioning. He's had some good moments, he's had some bad moments. So if he needs to be in there as a band-aid, I'm not gonna freak out about it. But the hope is we don't have to see him, not because of anything against him, just hopefully the guys that are in front of him are healthy. Bottom line.
Yeah, I'm with you. This isn't like a needle mover for me. It's a depth piece, but I will say that I think he played pretty well. I'm pretty sure it was the Los Angeles Rams game in the playoff that he got to start for. I can't. I think it was Jonah Jackson who was out that game, if I'm not mistaken. And Coyote came in, and I thought, hey, man, I think we talked in our pregame episode, and I know that was almost 2 years ago, but I think we talked about how that was a vital piece. And hey, he's going to be going up against Aaron Donald. He went up against Aaron Donald, held his own, so I think he's going to be a solid piece. But again, not wanting to really see him on the field unless we're really hurting. But let me ask you this: this kind of leads me to, I feel like every time we sign a free agent, we have to have the conversation. Does this change anything for the draft for you?
No.
Come on, Will. Be a little nice. I know it looks like you want to be mean. Why do you want to be mean to our guy Coyote? Come on. Spill the beans.
I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be mean to him at all. It just doesn't change anything at all. Like nothing.
You're still pretty high on Tyler Booker, even though we just signed the best offensive guard in the history of football in Kyod Aika.
Yes, I am.
All right. I'm fishing.
And Gray's able. Gray's able as well. I'm also
I threw my bait out there. I'm trying to catch a fish, and Will's just, he's swimming right by it. He's not going to bite. He wants nothing to do with Kyod Aika is pretty much what he's saying. So what else we got for today?
Listen, a lot of people may know this. Some may not. So today, live for the people that don't know Steve, a star is going to be born on Detroit Den 313. And this is a treat if you are unaware, but back, I can't remember what season was that. What was Hutch's rookie year? Was that 2022?
Yeah, I believe so.
His rookie season, he went out, he did a little Michael Jackson, man. He blew the roof off of the place, and we were on Hard Knocks, so the whole world got an opportunity to witness Hutch do his thing. But man, who I may even say has even more talent behind the microphone than even Hutch, man. So it's time that Detroit Den 313 brings him to the stage.
Do a little something. Fair east side, by thy side will stand and always praise thy name. Praise thy name to heaven. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, do you think
if you don't know who that is,
do you think you could hit notes like that, Will?
No, I can't.
Yeah,
but if you don't know who that is, that's Sion Vaky. Sion Vaky, man. Yeah, I definitely, Steve. There, if I started singing, not only would it would be immediately people would be unsubscribing. But Sion Vaky, man, just the voice of an angel. Steve, did that do something to you? Him singing like that?
Hey, man, I want to go out and like sing some carols in my neighbor's yard and just start praising the Lord. But I'll tell you this: if I start doing that with a microphone, Trump's next band is going to be on microphones. If I start singing, so we don't want to go down that road. But yeah, we've seen a lot of questions about Sion Vaky, and I think we had a question from a subscriber that you had an image of that we're going to kind of talk about, and yeah, John. Peterson, I'm going to assume we cut that name off a little bit here. Is there any indication that Vaky could play safety? I'm hoping they can load up on D-line and O-line in the draft. Great question. Listen, we've spun a couple of questions into episodes now, and this is the kind of stuff we like. So we didn't want to do a whole episode on just Sion Vaky, but it is a damn good question, Will. So how do you feel about that?
Listen, Sion Vaky, if you remember, for those that have been True Blue day one, Detroit then 313, he's a guy that we both absolutely loved. I can't remember exactly where you were on him as far as coming out on the draft as when I'm speaking to is what position he was going to play. But when he came out of the draft, I thought that he was going to end up playing safety. I just didn't foresee a world where it made sense that he would come in and try to play running back for the Detroit Lions. I was wrong. It's just another time. I was wrong, man. He came in and he played running back for the Detroit Lions. He's had some moments, man. He's had some moments out there doing his thing, and he's an athlete, man. He's an athlete. He's one of those guys. If we were talking about college football and he was getting recruited, he wouldn't have a position. It would just be Sion Vaky, athlete, next to his name. We'll figure it out when he gets here. So when I look at him, and I think about the things that he did last season, I don't want to come off as negative, but I just don't see a way that he gets playing time at running back. With David Montgomery, he got an extension through 2027. Jahmyr Gibbs is here till 2027, and then he's probably going to get extended until forever. I just don't see a path where Sion Vaky ends up on the field, re-signing Craig Reynolds. Right now, the only place that I see Sion Vaky is special teams. But when I look at that safety room, I'm looking at Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, and Jags. And if you don't know, that's something I stole from Steve Smith. Just a guy is what
somebody's
Jags
wife stole somebody's wife. Will
no, just a guy. Just a guy, man. Just a guy. It's just guys behind those guys. There's no real dogs behind our safeties, man, in my opinion. Somebody had put into the comment thread the other day or earlier today that Avonte Maddox might end up playing a little bit of safety for us. We tossed around that guys like Terry and Arnold can play anywhere in the secondary, but I think Sion Vaky is somebody that can help that safety room. So to me, I would love to see him take a crack at it, man. I loaded up, and hopefully this should be a safe one, man. We shouldn't be getting our PP smacked for this one, but I loaded up his pro day from last season before the draft, man. And if you look at the way he moves, let me turn it down a little bit. But if you look at the way he moves, Steve, he can move. He's got good hips, good fluidity. He's got great hands. Like we said before, he's an athlete. Look at him kick stepping. Look at him turning and open up and running. I see no reason getting in and out of his breaks clean, man, why he couldn't get a shot out there to play a little bit of safety, man. What does it hurt? It's not going to hurt our running back room. Our running back room's deep, right? So give him a look, man. Give him an opportunity to get out there. Maybe he does something, man. Maybe he does something special. Look at that.
Those are running back drills too. So at his pro day, he worked out with both position groups, which is insane.
All three position groups. He did special teams work. He did running back work, and he did safety work, man. So Sion Vaky, man, is a dude who I'm still thoroughly impressed by, Steve. I'm still thoroughly impressed by him, but I would like to see him get a look at safety, man. How do you feel about it? Are you interested in him playing a little bit of safety?
I'm interested. When he was drafted, I thought he'd be exactly what he was last year, a special teamer. Maybe he'd be a running back if we had an injury. And then when we saw the injury to David Montgomery, we kind of saw Craig Reynolds step into that, a running back 2 role instead of Sion Vaky. So when does he get on the field? Probably going to depend on someone getting hurt, and we don't want that. So I don't know. I think he'd be good at safety. Now, when I say good, I don't mean like, future all pro or, I don't want him to be the starter. I don't think he's got that type of skill set, but I think he's got a skill set that is at least worth a look. When do we want to get that look? Is it preseason? Is it a regular season game? Because if I had to choose, it'd probably start with the preseason, obviously being conservative with that decision. I just don't know when he would be able to get on the field because I don't want Brian Branch to get hurt. Don't want Kirby Joseph to get hurt. If Avonte Maddox is the emergency safety, I don't want to see anyone get hurt. So I don't know when he would be able to get on the field, when we'd be able to get a look at him, but I am interested. I don't know that he'd play safety at a high level. I think he'd get attacked early and attacked often. That's what offenses do. They're you bringing in a new safety, go after him. Let's see what he's got right away. So I think he'd be tested if he really came into a game, but I am 100% interested in at least seeing what he has to offer.
Yeah, I'd rather see him there than running back, like I was saying, man. So I agree. I don't know that he gets attacked. Like, I think it depends on what you ask him to do. Now, if you ask him to come in and jump down into the box and cover number twos man to man, then you might have some problems on your hands. But if you go have him play, outside of the box and, play a little bit of zone and, man to man situationally and matchups, I don't foresee why he shouldn't get an opportunity. I think he's got a better path to get on the field at safety than he does at running back. Running back, I just didn't see NFL starting running back out of him. I didn't see that at all. He made some good moves. He had some good plays. I didn't see elite burst with the ball in his hands. He made some good juke moves here and there. He's got decent hands, but I don't think the keys ever get turned over to him. Honestly, I think if something happened and both our backs were banged up, I think we probably go, like you said, with Craig Reynolds, and I think we probably go get somebody and bring him in-house. Unless he makes a crazy improvement on last season coming into this season, I just don't see a path for him at running back, and that's no knock on him, but I think he's an absolute special player on special teams. I think that just a trick play, he could be a running back, he can be a receiver, he could throw the football. He's a football player, just period, and he can tackle and do all of the things. So special teamers, man, like as a special teamer, he's one of those guys that I could easily see going to multiple Pro Bowls as a special teamer. He's going to be that type of impact player on special teams. But it's safety for me, man. I would love to see it. And to me, when you get that look at him, starts at training camp. And then if they're going to make that type of decision, I'm sure Kelvin Shepherd has already gotten his ear and started talking to him. But training camp, and then like you said, yeah, it would be preseason, but there was plenty of times where, Brian Branch had a little calf injury and we had to look at the backup. Even if it's a play here, play there, we are, I don't want to say decimated, but we don't have anybody behind Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch right now. So I don't know. You can toss names out there like Avonte Maddox, and I think Strickland was another one, and it's a problem. So I could see us addressing it in the draft. A guy that we haven't did a episode on that I'm really looking at is Jonas Sanker out of Virginia. He's a guy that we met with at the Combine. I think his nickname is Mr. Dependable. He's a guy that I could see us looking into maybe in the third, fourth round. Or like I said, man, or maybe we flip some guys over, similar to a Malcolm Rodriguez situation, Steve. Maybe a little offense, a little defense, coach, whatever you need. You just put me in wherever you need me. We'll just plug and play.
Sion Vaky at fullback wouldn't be a bad idea if we ran some packages with that because he can catch. I'll say this. I don't think let me just start with this. All right. I think in the preseason game last year, it was against the Kansas City Chiefs. I think Sion Vaky might have been the most impressive player to me throughout all of training camp. Either Hendon Hooker or him, take your pick. But I remember that Kansas City Chiefs game, and I know it's preseason. It doesn't mean much. You're going against backups. But the Lions had some drives where they were really kind of feeding the ball to Sion Vaky in the pass game and the run game. And I think it was the like a 2-minute warning type situation against Kansas City. And Sion Vaky, he made some plays. Again, it's preseason. I'm not saying that, he's going to have a Super Bowl winning drive and catch 5 passes in the Super Bowl like James White did for the New England Patriots however many years ago. But I do think he's a versatile back enough to run the ball, catch the ball. Maybe we throw him in some fullback packages if we need a fullback, and just kind of have another dimension where, he could be getting the ball. You never know. But I do want to see him at safety. So are we going to see that in training camp? Is it going to happen in the preseason where we only get a couple games and, teams are running base offenses and base defenses and you don't really get to see a whole lot? I don't know. But I think at the end of the draft last year, when we did our draft recap show, we both said, for me, I remember Mekhi Wingo was my number one player that I'm really, really excited about. really close 1B with Sion Vaky because of how versatile he is. So he could play a lot of different positions. It's just which one is he going to be best at this level? And that might be safety. I kind of wanted to get a better look at him as running back 3 when Demo went down to get him a couple carries, but they really just featured Craig Reynolds. I do think that Vaky is a better pass catcher than Craig Reynolds. So I think that opens up another area where he could be good as a running back. But I am 1,000% interested in some safety play if we needed him to.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing what they do with him, man, because I don't know what else happens. Otherwise, he's just a fourth running back that's not really in the mix. He's never really used rotationally. Like it's
just a gunner on special teams usually.
Yeah, we're just letting a up back on punt. You know what I mean? Just hang around. It's kind of a wasted opportunity to me, man. So that's where I'm at on Sion Vaky, man. Get that guy over on the defensive side of the ball, Coach Shep. Let that man get a look. Maybe he can help you guys out, man, because coming off of last season, we need all the help that we can get, bottom line.
Didn't he I think he had you said this last year that you thought he'd go out and win a game on special teams, and we had a chance. I think it was against the Buccaneers. We had a fake punt, and we ended up losing that game. Didn't they do a direct snap to Vaky, and he ended up getting absolutely stuffed because it was poorly done? I know he had one. I just can't remember which game it was against, but I feel like, if you're going to use Vaky, try a fake punt every now and then, and we only did one last year. I can't remember any games or situations where I could say, hey, we should have did a fake punt here, but it would have been a nice wrinkle to at least try to design something a little better than the one I can remember him getting. I just can't remember which game it was. I believe it was the Buccaneers game in week 2.
I can't remember. I just remember Germ got a couple of them, and I remember Germ getting stuffed on one, but
maybe it was him.
Yeah, but I can't remember. Vaky. Not to say, hey, it'd be a great guy to be getting the football too on special teams. So
yeah, we're getting old, Will. We can't even remember what we had for dinner 2 nights ago.
That's why we come on the show with notes, man.
What else we got today? I think there's one more thing.
Hey, first thing, or the thing that I'm going to say before I get off of here is, hey, it's draft season. I got my draft hat.
Overnight shipped that bad boy? I didn't even notice it.
Got my draft hat, man. So I don't know. I'm trying to decide, Steve. Am I going all draft hat until the draft? I think I did that last year, mostly draft hat until the draft was over. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. No, I didn't overnight it, man. I did normal shipping. So I don't know how I got here so fast, man. We must have pull around here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I don't have pull. I got to wear the Old English D. That's my thing. If I switch my hats up, people notice. So I usually try to just rock the Old English D. It's one of my favorite hats, man. As much as we talk Detroit Lions, that Old English D is just an iconic logo in all of sports. So that's why I always wear that. And I'm a baseball fan too, but Lions first. Lions number 1. Some other news happened yesterday. Nothing major, but maybe another breadcrumb, maybe another little hint, Will. The Detroit Lions had a top 30 visit with Maryland linebacker Ruben Hippolyte. So saw this news. Here he is, University of Maryland. Listen, this kid's built like a brick shit house. As soon as I saw that we had a top 30 visit on, I texted you, started getting on my phone, looking up a little thing, seeing what he can do. I'll go first with this one, I guess, because you've led. So I'll say when I was watching, I didn't watch a lot. I'm probably pretty much done with watching this film because I think I've seen what I needed to see. Not really my type of player, Will. I think he's just a straight up downhill thumping type linebacker, but he is big, and we got to have a conversation, I guess, about Alex Anzalone. He's going into the last year of his contract. Is this someone that Brad Holmes is targeting in the draft? Do you think he'd be a good fit?
I see him playing some special teams. Reminds me of guys like Anthony Pittman, those type of dudes. But do I see him playing meaningful snaps anytime soon for the Detroit Lions? I don't. I'm not excited about him. I knew of him. I knew who he was. I think he might have been in the Butkus conversation, man. But he's just, if anything, I would be looking at him more as a type of backer that's going to be trying to compete with Jack Campbell. Anzalone, he ain't guarding nobody man to man. He's getting exposed. It's more of what we've seen last year when running backs are just running away from our linebackers. So I think he's a depth piece, man. I think he's one of those guys who probably have the characteristics and personality traits of somebody that's a Detroit Lion, hard worker, a guy you get in here and probably competes through through camp, man, maybe on a practice squad type of level, man. But I don't see him getting any meaningful reps or being like a guy that we're talking about as a key player for the Detroit Lions moving forward.
Yeah, if he ends up being drafted, I'd have to do a lot more homework. The only thing I'll say I really like about him is his build, his physique, and he'll come down and hit you. But in coverage, big question mark for me. But he's pretty solid against the run. I remember he kind of popped on the radar when he was playing Michigan. There seems like there's always a player on defense that's just standing out whenever Michigan plays someone. A couple years ago when we had it was actually Cade McNamara and a younger Blake Gorham, and he was kind of wrecking the game in the run game. We weren't really getting a whole lot going, and Maryland was kind of giving us a nice little fight on the road. So he plays the run very, very well. Passing game, well, I don't know. He'll come down and hit you, but is he covering a tight end or a running back out of the backfield? God, I would attack that mismatch all day if I was an offensive coordinator. So not exactly my cup of tea, but I do find it interesting that Brad Holmes sees something enough to warrant a top 30 visit. I don't think that he would use that top 30 visit on a player that he envisions seeing special teams, but I'm with you. It just kind of makes me wonder, like, what does he see that we don't? And he's obviously got a sharper eye, but I just don't see anything really sticking out to me that makes me think, yeah, round 4, like that's got to be my pick. I just don't see that with Ruben.
Yeah, I will say when I look through our top 30 visits, man, over the time that Brad's been here, he's interviewed some dudes, man, that I was very confused at why they got interviews. So I mean, I was super last season. I was super invested into trying to figure out who we were going to draft and trying to get every breadcrumb that I could. And I started digging into top 30 visits and what do they mean? And is there times where teams interview people or don't interview people and still draft them? And, you know, just going through it. And there's a lot of teams that play games with those top 30 visits too. Maybe I bring a guy in that I know I'm not drafting, you know, or maybe I get a couple of guys at a position. Maybe I get a couple of, you know, top notch corners in here, but I'm not even thinking about really taking a corner. My mind's kind of somewhere else because I've been finding myself doing it this year. I'm looking, hey man, who the Bears got coming in their top 30? Oh, they got Genty coming in there. Interesting. You know what I mean? So yeah. I know there's some gamesmanship going on a little bit too, man. So I'm trying not to read too much into it. Last year, I got a strong understanding that the top 30 visits aren't going to tell me exactly what's going on. So I don't know, man. I am a little bit disappointed with some of the guys that I've seen, though. Even from the draft, yeah, from the draft interviews too, man. It was a few people from our draft interviews. I went on and started watching their film, and I'm like,
what are we doing here?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why we're bringing now body types. Okay, this dude is 6'6" and 280, 270 or whatever. I can see it, but when we started turning on the film, it's like, I don't know. I don't really know.
Looks like Tarzan plays like Jane.
Yeah, man. So I don't know where we're going, but Brad has a plan, man. I trust Brad. You know, we get on here and we critique stuff, man, and people crush us in the comments saying, you know, we're idiots and blah, 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 because we think we're Brad Holmes. I'll tell you this, and I think I can speak for Steve as well. We do not think we're Brad Holmes. Mm-hmm. We understand that we're podcasters, and you know, Brad Holmes has a job with the Detroit Lions as a GM because he's better than us. I mean, but that's not going to stop us from trying to figure out what's going on, from studying the game, from studying our personnel, from studying the guys in the draft, from watching film to preparing and using all the skills that we've honed in over life experience to try to figure this thing out and bring it to you guys. So there's a lot of things that we do get right every now and then too, man. So I don't know, man.
Broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, man. So I'm excited, man. I'm still trying to figure it out. I texted you yesterday, and this will be the last sauce that I give for tonight. I think Brad's about to do something crazy. And
I got tell me what it was. I mean, I threw out a guess, but that was based off of a conversation that we're not going to share with people because we don't want to get shut down and lose 5,000 subscribers. But I'll say this, Will, stop paying attention to what the Bears are doing. No one in that organization is smart enough to play chess with us, all right? Even Ben Johnson, they don't know what they're doing. Go ahead and draft Ashton Genty, because remember a couple years ago when we got called the worst franchise in history for drafting Jahmyr Gibbs in the top 15, and now their organization is about to do the same thing, because I do think they're going to draft Ashton Gentry, because I think that's why they beefed up their offensive line this offseason. So that's perfectly fine. Watch what Ashton Genty did against real competition, like what he did against Penn State. Kind of didn't really do a whole lot. So coming to the NFL, it's easy to run on that Smurf turf. And, you know, when you're going against teams from the MAC and, Coastal Carolina School of the Blind and those people to run it up. So I'm not really impressed with Ashton Jeanty. He's a beast physically, looks great in workout clothes, but this is the NFL. Everyone's big, everyone's fast. So we'll see. But I am curious to hear what your proposal is for Brad, but we'll save that for another day. You got anything else for tonight?
That's it, man. I'm excited, man. Just another day closer to this doggone draft, man, and figuring out what this team looks like for the future.
What are we? We're less than 4 weeks away, right? I think we're about 3.5 weeks away from the draft.
Not close enough.
Yeah, the draft is I love it. That whole weekend don't bother me. My phone's always charged. I got to see what's going on, who's trading for who's moving up, who's the speculation. No, everybody knows. Don't disrupt me during draft day. All right. So also, someone's asked us if we were going to do a live draft show. How would you feel about that, real quick? Possible? Not possible?
I think I'm going to be in Jamaica, to be honest.
Where in the world is Will Ford? We don't know. Is he in Georgia? Is he in Chicago, Jamaica? He's just a global phenomenon. I don't know. Stick around. Hit that like button. We'll be back later with another show.
Peace.